عندنا مش كتير بيجي indigo aqui in onde the golden dondom. I made a video. Somebody was asked me to make a video about this atzokanook. Atzokanook is your story of life, my story of life. And in order for me to really be real with what I'm doing here, I gotta talk about some things, how it relates to me, the teachings, and all these things, all how they, everything is connected. And one of them is like people call it depression. People call it things that are symptoms of trauma. They have words for it in Ojibwe. I like to use those words because they give me more clarity. Like you get agoy kikitanige, you get misdirected in those negative things, negative feelings. Kikupateyin, those are bad thoughts. Those those things that make you feel like you want to harm yourself. So that's the topic that I want to talk about. That I was asked to talk about by many people, and that's suicide, taking drugs, drug abuse, depression. See, those all stem from. They try to say it's, I guess in the therapeutic world, they stem from a symptom. They call them symptoms, and for me, I had to go through a lot of stuff when I was younger that I never talked about for a long time until I started talking about them, and it was easier. It became easier to for me to get through to these things. Where I am now, I haven't I haven't been talking a lot about the teachings for a long time. I used to always do that, but I needed to learn more probably because now I feel okay with talking about things that have happened to me. And one of them was when I was about 16 years old, or at that age. Yeah, I was 16 years old. A bunch of us from where I grew up, small town, we started drinking. And at the time, there was nobody staying at where I was staying. I'm not blaming anybody at all. This is just how the how it went. And then we went to one of my buddy's place. His parents were pretty rich, and then we ended up, of course, just drinking beers. And then we broke into his parents' uh, the hard liquor stuff. All I remember is us, me, and another guy, maybe a couple other guys too. We were being competitive and drinking that stuff straight. All this different, a whole bunch of different stuff. And then at the time, I really didn't value. I didn't have any value on my life. I guess you could say. Yeah, and I guess I know that's how I felt at the time. It's like, what? Who's gonna care what happens to me? And because of some of the things that happened to me when I was younger, when I was just like maybe I don't even think I was going to school yet. I got abused for myself and things that happened when I was like maybe 3, 4, 5. I don't even know. I know. I don't think I was. It was young anyway, and that affected me. I didn't think it would, but it did. It affected me for many years, and I ended up in a hospital that night. But what happened was a bunch of us left, and there was one guy that stayed with me. I don't want to mention any names here, just because only because I want to have respect among the went for those people that this person knows who they are, and if they're listening, that's good because I want to say miigwech for you for being there at that time. All I remember was leaving that night. I remember leaving, and that's it. I remember leaving, and I put on my. I was wearing a skimpy jacket, a hoodie. It was cold anyway, minus 30s or something. It was really cold. The other guys went down the main route, but I took the back route. That was my plan. I had this planned out. I wanted to go sleep somewhere. It's just, who's gonna care if I wake up sleeping frozen? That was my plan. But at that age, so I was feeling. It didn't work out. One of my buddies, my best friends I've had in my life, one of my best friends, he came and he helped me to his place. I was puking up blood. I don't remember that. I don't remember going to his place. All I remember is the next day waking up in a hospital. My hands are wrapped up. I almost froze to death. Staying in the hospital for 2 weeks, and then he came and visited me, and then he told me what happened. And, this was kind of like an eye opener for me. It's like people really care. Like he really cared about. Like he didn't want me to. He was a very good friend. I'm glad he was there for me at that time, and I didn't realize like the effect that has on other people. To this day, like it would have affected my family, obviously, and it would have. It's like I find now that it's like a domino effect. I wasn't thinking. I was only thinking about myself, being very selfish. I didn't know it was going to affect like my, if I would have went through with it, probably some other people would have done the same thing. And I really got to talk about this because it's very important for me to talk to people to get this out there. And, how my you do the atzokanook, you know, and I don't mind talking about it. It's just doesn't bother me. I mean, it's I guess like an old wound, but it's not like doesn't really bother me to talk about it because I'm okay with it now. I understand. Prayer has people that come up to me and talk to me, and they've actually talked to. I've worked in that system where they have like therapeutic things, therapeutic ways. I'm not cutting up therapeutic in ways in any way by any means. It's just that I know that when you work in a therapy, they give you models and stuff, and how they do it is they give you like a promissory. They make you sign. Oh, I promise I'm not going to do this. But a lot of the youth that I've talked to that have done that, they think that's a joke. It's like they're going to do it anyway. So I talk to them, and every time it's different. Every time I talk to somebody, it's not always the same. The symptoms are there, whatever. I don't look at it as like a symptom. I just know that there's something there that they need to talk about. And what I do is I just talk to them and I tell them about where they are. A lot of times, more times than any, they're in a place where they actually could do good. I know that every single time it's been like that. When somebody says, you know what, they're feeling like this and that, they want to harm themselves. It's like, okay, I always bring up this is going to affect somebody. It's going to affect your family. It's going to have a domino effect. Not only that, is there's something to learn from it. You know, I know a lot of people don't like talking about this. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me talking about this because it's a plague. It's affecting us, affecting people right now. It's going on all over the place, especially in Ishnabeg. I'm not trying to say, but a lot of people don't understand when they come from a community where it's like a third world. I'm serious about that. A lot, even places that are supposed to be rich, there's people that are not benefiting in Anishinaabe communities, Native communities all over that I've been to. It's there's some people that are okay, but there's obviously some that fall through the cracks. And those people, I would really like to get across to. It's like there's always hope. Like during your darkest times, that's the time you could do a lot of things for yourself. I mean, there's lots of things you could do. One of the biggest things I say for you, if it's in Anishinaabe, anybody, is take some, I'll say, a tobacco, G-men food, take it with you, put it out by a tree, you'll see what happens. They will come and help you. You pray for that out. And then those energies will come. The Shomas and Okamas, Gishimanidu, they know instantaneously what you're going through. Because there was a lot of times that I did almost do that again after that. That was the more severe one because I ended up in a hospital. There was another time as I got older where I finally came to terms with a lot of things. Is when my mom was sick, and me and my brother looked after her for quite a few years before she went out to spirit, and a lot of people were really hurt by it. And then when she passed on, like a lot of people, they mourn really bad. And for me and my brother, we for sure we felt sad, but a lot of times our family came to us for because our mom was like a leader. They went to her, but before she passed on, for whatever reason, nobody went to go visit her. A lot of them were struggling, I guess, and didn't want to for whatever reason. And I understand too because nobody. When I go visit her, she would have seizures. I don't know if you ever experienced a seizure or have seen somebody go through seizures. It's not like they go shaking. Yeah, sometimes they go shaking, but the real severe ones that I've seen witnessed through my mom is that she would like give out this big scream, and then all of her muscles would let would let loose, and her head would fall to the side because it was like she would, she'd be going. And then we gave her the cell phone. We thought that would help, but she always phoned my auntie, and they'd talk in Ojibwe all the time to each other over the phone about many things. So I'd have to run out to the use a payphone to phone 911. And sure, I was concerned, but it got to the point where I was like, I didn't really get too shocked and stuff. I just took, I understood, I understood at the time. But I noticed after when we went to the funeral, I never cried. I just didn't. I was glad that she was in a good place. She was meant to be there. There's there's a lot to this I want to get. I have to talk about because it's atzokanook. It's very meaningful. It's gonna probably some of you may have happened to. I don't know. I can't, but I'm pretty sure. In any case, after she passed on, I started drinking, and I was into MMA. And I harmed a couple of people because they came after me for whatever reason. And I really hurt them. I think I almost, you know, really, I didn't feel good about that at all. It's just this anger that was inside me still. I wanted people to pay for the suffering that I seen my mom go through. That's how I felt for a while until I got shot. One day I was out with my brothers and my friends. We got invited to this place. We went there. I don't know what it was. Probably drugs. I really don't know. But two women were shot that night too. I got harmed at the time, getting shot. My brothers were there, and all I could think about was I don't want nothing to happen to my brothers because they were. That's what they were there for. So I said, if anybody's going to get hurt, I'll take. It's going to be me. So I was watching out for my brothers. I mean, I did have differences with them, but that's what brothers are. I didn't want them to get harmed. Anybody that get harmed. And I thought, okay, this time I go see my mom because I missed her. I didn't really quitting drinking because I knew it was not I didn't want my kids to grow up like with that type of legacy for me of harming yourself and not going through all of that abusive things, abusive stuff. And some of them still do, but not nearly as much as I did. I'm glad that they never grew up like a real environment that I had to do. There's lots of stuff I could tell you that we had to endure when we were younger. In time, I will. These are just two main things I wanted to talk about. The bird and stuff, things like that. That's what's missing. They have that in and done. They're thinking it's not relevant. And a lot of the younger people, they don't want to talk about that because they know that it's going to get written up. It's going to become documented. Everything's documented when they talk about these things to them. They're not stupid. They're very. They could have been avoided, but it happened. At one place that I worked at, had units, and that's the thing that